Hello, my name is Last Dan of Mystery Man, and well, if you see my first 8 videos, then you might be a bit confused about this one. This is not a Bold and the Beautiful review episode. This is my first ever WWE Pro Wrestling review video for WWE NXT Spring Breakin 2023 that aired last night, April 25th, 2023. And well, I'm gonna give you a little history on how long I've been a wrestling fan. I've been a wrestling fan for 21 years, and as some of you know, I'm only 21 years old, and the first time I ever saw pro wrestling, I saw WWE SmackDown. I'm sorry, WWF SmackDown in 2002. 5 days after I was born, and where, as my mom said, my grandpa sat me down. I became entranced with it, and it became something I have watched every single day since. So So yeah, I just wanted to make my first Western review video, just to see how that would do. I know the soap opera, the Bold and the Beautiful videos have been doing really well. Honestly, I mean, one of them have 700. One of them have over 700. One of them has 717 views, and the other one has 421 views. And I mean, my video, my current video has like, I think has like 24 views so far in the first day, so that's pretty good. So yeah, I mean, I want to see how this one is gonna do, and NXT seemed like a good one to start with. It's not Raw, which is 3 hours long. What the history of NXT is, well, basically started in 2010. Ironically, started on my birthday, February 23rd, 2010, on my 8th birthday. So yeah, that's always cool. That's another reason why I've always liked NXT. And it used to be a game show. Then it became NXT Wrestling in 2012. Then it became like a weird Nickelodeon TV show in 2021. And now it's NXT White and Gold. So we're getting into this show. And into NXT Spring Breakin 2023. It started with the first match, the family, Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stat Lorenzo, which I really like that name in a way, because you have to say all three of it. And I'm also a big fan of the name Seth freaking Rollins. I know some people don't like it, but I'm a really big fan of it. But getting into this match, it was a trunk match. Well, the goal of the match was to basically stuff your opponent in a trunk of a car. Basically, it was a casket match. Basically, it was a casket match, but instead it was a trunk. Pretty much, and they were taking on Pretty Deadly, Kit Wilson, and Eldon Prince. Yeah, I mean, it was a fairly decent match. I mean, it was a good match. I like Pretty Deadly. I think Pretty Deadly are a pretty good tag team. I love their one with the New Day like December of last year. I really hope Pretty Deadly moves up to the main roster during the draft, because Raw and SmackDown need some fresh blood in tag team division. Because as much as I love Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, we can't have them fight the Usos forever at this point. I mean, we don't need them to be fighting forever at this point, so we need some fresh blood. So this was a good match, and what happens at the end of the show, I think, really does help wipe them off. So this was a good match. It was 12 minutes and 31 seconds of okay wrestling. Tony D'Angelo is pretty good. Although Kilt and Eldon really do come off as the most, at least in my opinion, the most seasoned and talented guys in this match. And Channing Stat Lorenzo, I think, has a long way to go before I think he might be. I mean, he's an okay wrestler, but he has a lot of room to grow, and I think he's very young, and he has a lot of room to go before he becomes, before he could probably carry a match. But he was okay at this, and the D'Angelo family won. I know it's technically the family, but that just sounds weird to me. So I'm going to keep probably saying the D'Angelo family. The D'Angelo family won. It was a pretty good match. Next match was Braun Breaker defeated Andre Chase by submission with the Steiner recliner in 2 minutes and 19 seconds. Well, it was a squash match basically. Braun Breaker showed up, he beat up Andre Chase, and won with the Steiner recliner, which I really like that now that he's a heel, his new finisher should be a submission. And he's taking it from his Uncle Scott. Now the name Braun Breaker, I don't know about that. That doesn't seem like the best name in the world. I mean, I know his real name is Braun, but I don't know why he couldn't be Braun Steiner or Braun West, or Braun West, or Braun West Steiner, or West Steiner. Just one name that just his last name. But he went with Braun Breaker because I think he played football or something. Also, I remember when NXT 2.0 started in 2021. I remember me and my friends would always talk about, well, maybe he picked Braun Breaker because he had to choose between Von Wagner or Braun Breaker, and Braun Breaker at least doesn't sound as dumb as Von Wagner. So he defeated Duke. He defeated Andre Chase in a squash match. Andre Chase is Chase University. I really like. I like Andre Chase gimmick of guy who cusses a lot. And I love how he just naturally transitioned into a babyface due to the fact that he had the Chase U section, and that got him pretty over as a babyface eventually. And I've always liked Andre Chase. I think he's good. I think Andre Chase is not should get a lot more praise than he does because he's not a bad wrestler. Honestly, it was a good squash match. And then the next match, I could not care less about. I'm sorry. Cole J defeated Lyle Valkyrie. Yeah, I think Lyle Valkyrie in 8 minutes and 19 seconds, which was about 6 seconds too long for me because Cole J does not do much for me as a character, as a persona in wrestling, as a wrestler character. I don't get her gimmick. I don't know if it's supposed to be a skater girl or it's supposed to be the resident mean girl of NXT. I mean, this is not a Lindsay Lohan movie. Oh wait. Yeah, this is not a Lindsay Lohan movie. This is pro wrestling. Don't know if that's gonna work. You ain't Regina George. And she defeated Lyle Valkyrie, who I've heard of because she had like those giant wings. Because I guess the gimmick is she's an angel or something. But this was a fairly, I guess, okay women's match. Honestly, it's the worst women's match on this program because the triple threat main event was pretty good, but it was an okay match. I don't have much to say about it. I don't have much to say about it. I barely watched it. I was just not interested in it whatsoever, like at all. I'm not even trying to be mean. It's just there's some matches on wrestling shows that I see them and I see who's in, and I'm like, this doesn't really appeal to me, honestly. Either one of these people I'm really that invested in right now, so I'll watch it. I'll have it on in the background. Maybe something interesting will happen. Or maybe I'll just wait until it's over, and then I'll see the next match. And the next match is Carmelo Hayes for the NXT champion. Carmelo Hayes with Trick Williams defeated Grayson Waller in 12 minutes and 3 seconds for the NXT championship. Well, I know this was a fourth match, and I know some people are gonna go with the whole, well, maybe the NXT championship should probably always main event, but I think it's okay when it doesn't. Because I think the women's triple threat match really deserved to main event. Because I think NXT have the best women's division, but I'll get to that when I get to the NXT Women's Championship match. But going back to the NXT Championship match, I like Carmelo Hayes. I like his gimmick now. I was an okay fan of his gimmick and when he was a heel. I think as a babyface, he could be so over as a big time babyface with Trick Williams. Because I could see them being like the dynamic duo of babyfaces. Because they both now have the charisma, and Trick Williams has gotten so much better on the mic since 2021. So I can really see them getting. I was not a big Trick Williams fan at the beginning. I thought he was annoying. I thought he had no mic skills whatsoever. But he's grown on me, honestly. I mean, because they let it breathe. Because you could see Trick Williams getting better. But getting into this match against Grayson Waller and Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller never really done it for me. I thought he could have been a big-time babyface when he first showed up in 2021. But as a heel, I'm like, he's just another annoying, cocky heel that people like, and he's a social media influencer. So if you seen Albert chat last night, you know I'm not a big fan of the word social media influencer. Because he likes Instagram and stuff, and I'm not a big fan of that. But I guess I'm technically now I'm now a YouTuber, so that might be a little hypocritical of me, but it was a fairly decent championship match, honestly. Carmelo Hayes, of course, came off as a star. Grayson Waller was doing everything in his power not to be in the match because he's a heel. He took out Trick Williams fairly early. That kind of upset me because I like Trick now, And then it went into a pretty good groove of a match, And Carmelo Hayes won in 12 minutes and 3 seconds, and well, I think that was the right result. I think Carmelo Hayes is going to should be a very long-term champion right now. I could see him holding it all the way up to, honestly, next year Stand and Deliver. Quite frankly, I think he could hold it that long, and then he moves up to the main roster next year with Trick Williams. And I think that you could even have Trick win maybe the North American Championship once you get done with Wes Lee's story. Once you get done with Wes Lee's story, you can have Trick Williams become the North American champion, and they could be the most popular duo as the top duo of NXT, because I think Trick Williams deserves it now. Honestly, I think he deserves some type of championship. Honestly. And then the next match was a match I'm sure somebody liked. I mean, I've actually liked this story. It's Josh Briggs and Fallon Henley versus Brooke Jensen and Kiana James. I mean, I like this. I like the storytelling of this match where Brooke Jensen has been trying to get laid since like last Valentine's Day, and it's never worked out for him. Like last year, he made all those videos like at Valentine's Day of NXT Vengeance Day last year. He made all those videos, you know. Like, hey, I'm Brooke Jensen. Let's get together. I'm Brooke Jensen. And I love Josh Briggs here as the guy who clearly knows that all of his friends are insane. All of his friends are insane and all have like horrible luck with love and are clearly all involved in this weird love triangle. And he's just the one normal guy. I really like Josh Briggs here, honestly. I think Josh Briggs is phenomenal in this role. I love just his total obedience to his friends all being crazy, but still wanting to support his friend because he's a good friend. Fallon Henley is pretty good, honestly. And I don't want to come off as like sexist or something, but she's hot, so that always works out. I don't want to come off as sexist, but I'm a dude, so you know, she's hot. Kiana James never really done it for me. I'm not a big fan of the wrestling lawyer. They got AEW Smart Mark Sterling, which is also stupid because, well, he's a lawyer, but he's not really good at being a lawyer. He's a horrible fake lawyer. He's not a good wrestler, but tending not to be a good fake lawyer. That's kind of Kiana James' gimmick, you know. So it was an okay match, I guess. Brooke Jensen is a heel. Does not work for me. He does not come off believable as a heel. And well, we all knew where this was going. Josh Briggs and Fallon Henley wins, because I think Kiana James is scrapped Brooke Jensen. Brooke Jensen come down and go, we got each other. And Kiana said, I never cared about you. And then afterward, Josh Briggs comes in and hugs him and he rests his head on his shoulder, which I thought was a pretty nice story, honestly. So I don't know where this is going now. Maybe Josh Briggs, Fallon Henley, and Brooke Jensen are getting caught up to the main roster. Because I think WWE, as I said, wants Matt that need more tag teams. So maybe you call them up to the main roster as well. And you make them a duo in the tag team division. Because technically they're the last ever NXT UK tag team champions in history. Even though I still think Pretty Deadly is. Because technically they technically won those belts by unifying them, but hey. They recognize Josh Briggs and Brooke Jensen as the final NXT UK tag team champions. Two Americans. So then the next match was the debut of OBAFEMI. I'm not trying to be mean or disrespectful, but I have no idea how to say that, so I'm just gonna spell it. Taking on Ole Mooch, who I think Ole Musovich, who was Oliver Carter in NXT UK. I can't say that name either. I'm sorry, but this was a pretty good match because I think the OBA guy was on NXT level up, and he's okay. It was a 3 minutes and 35 second match. I honestly think they could have got a little bit more time. I think if you was to do what I think would have been good, if you was to take this match, Cora Jade versus Lyra Valkyrie, if you were to scrap 8 minutes from this match, 6 minutes from this match, and give those 6 minutes to this match, you should have gave this match 6 minutes, and you could have gave this match about 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Because I think that would have been a much better solution, because the first women's match did nothing for me, and this was a pretty good match. And now the main event, the Indy Hartwell versus Roxanne Perez versus Tiffany Stratton for the NXT Women's Championship. And what can I say? Indy Hartwell is pretty good, honestly. I like Indy Hartwell. I like her gimmick of impressive, and I think she was the right choice to be NXT Women's Champion right now. She's been there since 2020, so we've really seen her grow as a pro wrestler. Roxanne Perez is awesome. She's what? I think she's She's 21 years old and she's already this talented at this age. I cannot imagine what she's going to be at like 30. It's honestly impressive how good and talented Roxanne Perez is. Another thing I love about Roxanne Perez, she's the only person who Booker T likes. Like I love Booker T's like not even so much a heel commentator. He just doesn't like anybody but Roxanne Perez at this point. Like if you're not Roxanne Perez, I don't like you. That's Booker T basically. And there was a third person, Tiffany Stratton, who I think is probably should be the mean girl or an attractive daddy's girl, which I guess is okay. I guess is cool, you know. She's okay. I know some people think she might be the next Trish Stratus, but that seems like way too high praise. But maybe. You never say never. I'm sure people in 2000 didn't think Trish Stratus was gonna be Trish Stratus. So maybe she has a chance, you know, to be that blonde, to be a really attractive blonde who turns out to be phenomenal at pro wrestling. But in this match, she kind of seemed like the third wheel in a sense, but also midway through the match, Indy Hartwell gets taken out, and it basically becomes a single match between these two where Roxanne Perez really does shine of how good she is. Roxanne Perez really does shine about how good she is against Tiffany Stratton. Because, I mean, there was a couple, like, I feel like botchy moves, like Roxanne Perez did a spinning kick, but it more so seemed like Tiffany Stratton might have been in the wrong position. And there was a couple of different times I thought Roxanne Perez was actually going to win her championship back. And she was never pinned or submitted to lose her championship, which I still do not like that. I mean, it's a ladder match. Everybody knows the rules of a ladder match. You climb the ladder, whoever retrieves the championship wins it. Like, that's the rules of a ladder match, people. So this was a fairly decent main event, honestly. I think everybody shined. I think all three women shined, honestly. I think Indy Hartwell is still champion. I liked it. I mean, I wasn't really a big fan of the way she won. Like with that punch to the back, I guess. Wasn't a big fan of that, but other than that, I think it was a pretty decent, good match. I mean, I know Tiffany Stratton was going for like a moveset, and I don't know what Indy Hartwell was trying to catch her or something. Like, this ain't a tag team match. A tag team match where someone comes in to get the victory. I don't know what was that. I don't know if she's supposed to trip her or something, and that was supposed to be the ending. But I don't really know what happened there. As I said, it was a pretty good match. Indy Hartwell is a good champion. Roxanne Perez is too good to be on NXT at this point. If she's not going to be champion, send her up to the main roster at this point, honestly, and have her go into a couple month-long feud with Rhea Ripley on SmackDown. And Roxanne Perez possibly at SummerSlam, or maybe if you want to hold off until WrestleMania, you can have Roxanne Perez become the youngest Royal Rumble winner next year, and defeat Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania next year. I think that could be a good story. Rhea Ripley has a year-long dominant championship reign, and this newcomer to WWE, well, not WWE, but this newcomer to SmackDown at the draft, works her way through everybody on the roster to get to Rhea Ripley. And Rhea Ripley has gone through everybody, and only Roxanne Perez stand in her way, but that's getting a little too fancy booking right there. But yeah, Roxanne Perez should be drafted to SmackDown. And because she is a future star. I think Roxanne Perez is a future star because she's young, attractive, great in the ring. My skills, okay. I mean, I know her whole storyline is she got anxiety and stuff, and I think that works, you know, but I'm not sure about that. Also, in case you didn't know, I'm a big fan of milk. As I'm recording this at 10:54 in the morning, so if I seem a little less into it, that's because I usually don't get fully awake until about 12:30, you know. So if I come off a little more stagnant and foggy, that's because I'm not fully up yet. But this match was pretty good, honestly. I liked it. I like a lot of that NXT. I think NXT is pretty good right now. And I know Shawn Michaels is ahead of it. And one thing I like about Shawn Michaels as a book is he always trying to have an overtime. I don't know if I think I have YouTube TV now, so I paused it at a couple different points. and I unpaused it. I didn't fast forward back, so maybe I think I tried to fast forward to get back to the right time, but maybe I messed up because my program NXT for me didn't end until 10:17. So I don't know if that may be because I paused it a couple times and maybe I didn't fast forward back correctly or not. But my NXT Spring Breaker didn't end until 10:17. So let me know if you guys had the same thing or did it end earlier. That's one thing about NXT. I always have an overtime because sometimes the main event started like 9:55. Like I'm like it's different, but I've never really understood it. But yeah, Indy Hartwell won, and then we have like a weird ending. Well, did Pretty Deadly get like murdered or something? Because you have Channing Statler Lorenzo and Tony D'Angelo talk about beating Pretty Deadly, and they're like, yeah, we conquered Pretty Deadly. And when it ends with like them looking at the water and them getting in their car and just a shot of water, like, are Pretty Deadly dead or something? Like, is that what we're going with here, Sean? I know the objective was to stuff them in a trunk, but they never said the objective of the match was to stuff them in a trunk and then dump them in a river. So was that just like a different way to end the show or something? Because that was a little weird to end the show with possibly a murder. But then again, the NXT parking lot is the most dangerous place in the world. I mean, all of wrestling now, we have kidnappings, attacks. I mean, last year was pretty much sawn off that Tony D'Angelo and Shaq Daniel Winston, got rid of kind of murdered the other guy, Tony Two Dimes D'Angelo. So I don't know what that was about, but this was a pretty good show, quite frankly. Oh, and the NXT Women's Championship match with 15 minutes and 12 seconds, and the sixth match between two guys whose names I cannot pronounce went 3 minutes and 35 seconds, and the other match, John found Henry versus Brooke Jensen and Kiana James with 11 minutes and 43 seconds. Yeah, this was honestly a pretty good show. I'm sorry if I don't come off as I say maybe upbeat or into a personality. It's really early. It's like 10:30. I started recording. It's like 10:30, and I'm not fully up yet. So yeah. But this was a pretty good show. I'll give it on a scale from 1 to 10. 10 being awesome, 10 being amazing, 1 being horrible. I'll give it about a 7.5. Honestly, I mean, there was some good matches. There was some bad. There was one really bad match, the women's match, which I think is worst match of the night. And I think best match of the night is probably, I won't agree, the best match of the night is the NXT Women's Championship match. Because I just love the dynamic of the triple threat aspect, and then it becomes like single match where you think Roxanne Perez is gonna win, and then Indy Hart will come back, but not in like the sense of she's like steals the victory. She just gets rid of Tiffany Stratton, and then she hits her own move on Roxanne Perez to get the victory, and to show that she can't beat Roxanne Perez. So there's no more debating whether or not she can be the champion, because she did pin Roxanne Perez. So I like that too. But other than that, it was a pretty good show. And I don't know what else to say, but if you like this video, maybe share it with your friends, Maybe share it with your friends. If you like this video, share it with your friends. If you want to, please like and subscribe to my channel. I got 10 subscribers so far, so I want to see how this video is going to do in viewers and see if this video get me some more subscribers, because I'm really excited about where my YouTube channel can go. Because I'm going to be doing a deep dive into the WWE draft. Probably Saturday. It's probably Saturday, Sunday, or possibly Monday, just depending on how everything goes, I'm going to be doing a video on the draft, and then I'll do another one on the draft Monday, on Tuesday probably. But yeah, I guess I got no much to say about NXT Spring Breaking. It was a good show. I give it a 7.5 for NXT Spring Breaking. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It would be nice, I guess. And well, if you like it, leave a like, leave a comment. Tell me how you guys felt about NXT Spring Breaking. How you think I did with my first non-bold and beautiful video. And well, I guess there's not much else to say. Then whoever sees this video, I hope you have a wonderful day. Well, thank you. See you later. Ironically, see you later today for my bold and beautiful episode. Have a nice day, everybody.